The rise in hospital-borne infections and antibiotic-resistant strains of bacteria has heightened a need for more stringent cleaning standards in hospitals. And that also highlights the requirement for better controls and enhanced audit procedures of those standards. Hygiene monitoring is rapidly becoming a keystone in the healthcare sector to help them assess and audit these cleaning standards. Hygiene monitoring allows a hospital to determine very, very quickly just how clean or dirty a surface is or their medical equipment is. Hygenia International is a well-established company specialising in rapid testing, particularly so in ATP monitoring. We have a wealth of experience in ATP monitoring, and we supply over 200 hospitals in the UK alone. ATP is short for adenosine triphosphate, and ATP is present in just about everything. It's in us in vast quantities. It's in our body fluids, it's in meat, it's in food, it's in beverages, it's also in yeast and mould, and you also find it in microbiological matter. Now this ATP, because it's present in everything, can be left behind in debris if you've not cleaned effectively. So if we can collect that debris left on the surface after cleaning and react it with a special enzyme called luciferin, which is a firefly enzyme, we can get the two mixing together and get light emitted, just like a firefly's tail might light up. So similar to what's happening in the firefly, the ATP in the firefly's body reacts with its own enzyme, luciferin, and makes the tail light up. Linda's now taking a swab of the bed. She draws a 10 centimetre square on the surface and then colours it in a diagonal fashion from one corner and then back again from the next corner. The swab is then placed back into the cuvette and activated. Snap, snap, squeeze. Shake the swab for 5 seconds and then put it into the System Sure instrument. Press the OK button, and 15 seconds later we'll have our result. If it's a high result, it means that the bed isn't clean. If it's a low result, then that's great, the bed's clean. System Sure Plus is Hygenia International's ATP monitoring system. It's used by hospitals who need to determine if there have been any contaminants left behind after cleaning. The System Sure Plus is used to determine the efficacy of cleaning and the hygienic status of surfaces and medical and patient equipment in just 15 seconds. It is widely used across many departments in the hospital, from trust quality monitoring officers, ward managers, ward matrons, modern matrons, and it's also used in the CSSD department, the sterile services department of a hospital, to check for the cleanliness of the surgical instruments after they've been washed. You can also use ATP monitoring in the catering department, and it's a great real-time monitor to be used alongside existing HACCP plans. Trusts have tended to rely wholly on visual inspections, and visual inspections are quite subjective. You know, if it looks clean, then it must be clean. But that's not always the case, because sometimes there's, I guess, invisible soil left on a surface, and that invisible soil can be a risk for the spread of germs. So this is where the ATP monitoring comes in. You can swab that surface, that will pick up that invisible soil. We then react it with a special enzyme from a firefly, and that reaction gives out light. That light is measured by the System Sure Plus instrument. I would say that the Hygenia System Sure Plus is a very powerful tool. It's an additional tool that trusts can use to help them prove that they've cleaned to the standards that they want to clean to. It gives them a little bit more power. It allows them to know for sure if their surfaces are clean. I mean, something can look clean, but is it really clean? We never really know. The System Sure Plus, very simply, very quickly, gives that final knowledge to the trust that yes, we've cleaned this properly, it's correct, and the standards have been achieved.
We've been using the System Sure Plus for some years now. It was first introduced into our hospitals by our infection control teams. We tried it on one site, we liked the results, therefore we moved it to both of our sites. What we really like about the system is that it gives us instant results on the effectiveness of our cleaning. Cleaning within patient areas is very important, as you can imagine, and we want to be able to validate how effective that cleaning is. So by using the system Sure, we're able to get instantaneous results on the cleaning. If we find a problem, if we haven't met the standards we set ourselves, we can rectify those immediately. We use the system as part of a range of measures to validate the effectiveness of our cleaning, and therefore not only visual inspections, but using this system gives us the assurance that our cleaning is very good and effective. We upload the data from the system Sure on a regular monthly basis. We use that data to provide reports back to ward matrons, and we also provide reports to our domestic services department so they can see how effectively they've done the cleaning. And I also use it to give assurance to my board. I am the accountable officer for cleaning within this trust, and it's important to me that I'm able to validate the effectiveness of our cleaning to the board, and that the board is therefore assured. If I was to give advice to any other NHS trusts, it would be to ask themselves, how do they validate their cleaning? We do validate how effectively we clean surgical instruments. We validate how effectively we clean scopes that we insert into people. But how many of us are really validating how well we clean the patient environment? And for me, the system Sure is a good way for us to get that validation.